The topic is converting equations from rectangular to spherical. So let's do the first example. Convert to spherical form the rectangular equation x squared plus z squared equal 9. So here are the formulas. Our goal is to have only rows and phi's and thetas. So I know my x is equal rho sine phi cosine theta, so I'm going to replace x by rho sine phi cosine theta, but of course if it's squared, so I gotta square it, plus I gotta replace z by rho cosine phi, but because if it's squared, so I gotta square both, equal 9. Okay, what else? Then I don't see any simplification. Then I can solve for rho squared. So rho squared will be equal 9 over sine squared phi cosine squared theta. Kind of like I factor rho squared plus cosine square phi. So factor rho squared and divide. This is 9. Now rho will be supposedly minus or plus square root, but because we know rho is always positive, so square root of 9 is 3, so it's just going to be square root of sine square phi cosine squared theta plus cosine squared of phi. Done with the first example. And this is actually a cylinder. So it's what? This is like 3 squared, right? So let's think of it as 3. And the y can be anything, right? This can keep going forever. What else? So you need to know that this rho is actually the distance going from the center to the cylinder. Oops, cylinder is from here to here, right? So that would be rho. Let's continue up here. Alright, next example. Convert to spherical form the rectangular equation x squared plus y squared equal 4. Now same thing, we have x squared plus y squared equal 4. Again, we want only rows, phi's, and thetas. So again, my x is rho sine phi cosine theta. My y is rho sine phi sine theta. And don't forget it's squared, x squared, so I got a squared, y squared, so I have to square everything. Right? Now here, this is different than the previous problem. Here we could factor rho squared sine squared phi, and that would be cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equal 4. I know this is equal 1, so therefore rho square sine square phi equal 4. Now we can we could factor or just calculate rho square will be, oops, don't forget this is a sine squared, so 4 over sine square phi. Now this means that rho will be equal, again rho is positive, so square root of 4 is 2 over square root, let me do this in 2 steps, square root of sine square of phi, right? But remember, square root of sine, let me write it here, Square root of sine square of phi is equal by definition absolute value of sine of phi. But because which is equal sine of phi, because phi is always, where is it? Phi right here is always between 0 and pi. So sine of phi is positive. Since it's positive, then that's what it is. So this will be equal 2 over sine phi. So let me graph. So remember, this is a cylinder. Radius is 2. Z could be anything. Right? Keep going forever, even this way. So rho, this rho 2 over sine phi goes from the origin to the cylinder. Alright, now let's do the next example. Convert to spherical form the rectangular equation x squared minus 4x plus y squared plus z squared equals 0. So we'll do the same thing. Wherever we see x, we plug in rho sine phi cosine theta, and it's squared, so we gotta square the whole thing. Minus 4, x is again rho sine phi cosine theta, plus my y is right there. The y is rho sine phi sine theta. So again, square everything, and then z is right there, rho cosine of phi, and then I square both of them, and that's equal to 0. Now here we can simplify a lot of stuff. So we can add these two first. This one plus that one. So I'm going to factor rho squared sine squared of phi. That would be cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta. The reason why I do that, every time I see cosine squared, sine squared, I know this is going to be equal to 1. Right? Now what else? I'm going to write this next to it. Plus rho squared cosine squared phi. And then I'm going back to that. Minus 4 rho sine phi cosine theta, and that's 0. Now I have rho squared sine squared of phi plus, this is rho squared cosine squared of phi minus 4 rho sine phi cosine theta equals 0. Now again, I can factor rho squared because I see cosine squared sine squared of phi would be 1. So I'm going to write rho squared factor of sine squared phi plus cosine squared phi minus 4 rho sine phi cosine theta. That should be 0. Now I know this is equal to 1. So I got rho squared minus 4 rho sine phi cosine theta equals 0. Now I can solve for rho squared. So this will be 4 rho sine phi cosine theta. Now divide by rho, and I know rho could be 0, but let me just assume rho is not 0. We know rho has to be bigger or equal to 0, it can be 0. So assume it's not equal to 0, so we can divide by rho, and then we'll talk about the case where rho is 0. So divide by rho, rho will be equal 4 sine phi cosine theta, and that's the equation. But even if rho, this is an equation of a sphere. So when rho is equal to 0, it's not a problem. If rho is equal to 0, still gonna get you're still gonna get that point. If rho, let me write it down. If rho is equal to 0, then you'll get the origin. Right. Let me first graph. Let me do this. Let me rewrite the equation: x squared minus 4x plus y squared plus z squared equals 0. So I'm trying to graph this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna complete the square. So I'm gonna add 4 divided by 2, which is 2 squared, to both sides. Now this is gonna be x minus 2 squared plus y squared plus z squared is equal to 4. So this is a sphere with with the center 2, 0, 0, and the radius of the sphere. The radius of the sphere will be 2. So what do we do? So basically, this is 2, and this is 4. I don't know if I can do this right. So here's the sphere, right? So let me give it 3D. Just do this. I'll actually give it a 3D. It's a sphere, not a circle. Yeah, I mean, you can write here rho is equal to that, or rho is equal to 0. So this way we don't have a problem, which is in union of the two. Rho equal to 0 would be just a sphere of radius 0. And that's it for this example.